Straight ahead on 12 News, bring on the competition.
It's still pretty unbelievable for our inaugural season.
Meet a team of trivia whizzes from Lionsgate Academy. Plus, how long can you last in your career? Meet a Plymouth employee who stayed with the same place for 44 years. But first, a turning point for light rail in the Northwest Metro.
Now we're there, and it's exciting to begin to plan it for real.
12 News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Johnson.
And I'm Shannon Slatton. Plans are starting to take shape for light rail transit along West Broadway Avenue in Brooklyn Park.
And hundreds of people gathered Thursday night to share their thoughts on the design. But as Delane Cleveland reports, there are still plenty of people who are skeptical of the overall project.
This is great to see this much interest.
Thursday night at North Hennepin Community College.
It's great to see this many people out here.
A standing room only crowd packed the Grand Hall for the latest update on the Metro Blue Line extension project.
And the Blue Line extension is the light rail piece that adds additional transit service into the Northwest.
This time around, it's not a matter of if the project will happen.
We're expecting and hoping for 27,000 riders per day by 2030.
This animation shows the 85th Avenue station platform.
But rather, once it does happen, what should it look like?
Whether it was going to happen, I think, was a long, drawn-out discussion. But now we're there, and it's exciting to begin to plan it for real.
The Blue Line passes through the intersection of Bottineau Boulevard and 73rd Avenue.
The design of West Broadway between 75th Avenue and Highway 610 was the primary area of concern at this meeting. Project developers organized the crowd into small groups to seek feedback on that stretch of roadway.
The noise is getting to be more and more all the time, and now this is actually going to bring the noise closer to us.
It's a section that could either have 2 lanes or 4.
We are looking at a number of different roadway alternatives, from where we would have to potentially acquire some houses to where we would acquire none.
Property acquisition was certainly on the mind of property owner Jay Harris.
Well, I'm concerned, yeah.
Who owns a rental property right along their proposed light rail route.
What I'm concerned about is people getting compensated fairly, because I know they're going to take some of mine, and they're going to take a lot more of other people's property.
It's one of many concerns that others along their route have as well. How it all plays out remains to be seen.
People will get a fair market value for their property if we take a foot of it or if we take the whole structure.
Well, if you missed Thursday's meeting, you will have another opportunity to weigh in on March 19th. After that, project staff will put together a revised design for the Brooklyn Park City Council to endorse on April 27th. Mike?
All right, thank you. A bill to eliminate teacher seniority as the main criteria for layoff decisions now moves on to the Minnesota Senate. After nearly 7 hours of debate, the Republican-controlled House passed the teacher tenure bill, which aims to base layoffs on teacher performance. The proposal is drawing strong criticism from the state's teachers union. It now faces an uncertain future in the DFL-led Senate, though does have some DFL support, including Senator Terry Bonoff, who has authored the Senate version of the bill.
The city of Plymouth recognized 18 courageous citizens Thursday for their recent life-saving actions. One of those acts didn't just save a life, it helped save a wedding too. Here's Stacia Kalinowski.
It was the night of our rehearsal.
The biggest day of Kelly and Dan Coonrad's lives didn't exactly go as expected.
I felt like I fainted.
The father of the groom, Lyle Coonrad, was sitting in the front row.
I looked over and Lyle was slumped over in his chair, and his son Dan slapped him in the face a couple times.
Lyle went into sudden cardiac arrest.
You can't imagine thinking if your father-in-law would die the night before your wedding.
Bride Kelly and bridesmaid Samantha Brewers jumped into action. Samantha happens to be a nurse. Kelly is in training to be one.
I just did CPR.
Even the pastor sprung into action. Pastor Wayne Peterson is trained to use the church's AED machine.
And I really was running at this time. We were all little links in a chain.
The pastor grabbed the AED.
Once you get the pads in place, it senses if there is a pulse. We got Lyle's shirt opened, and we were able to give him that first shock.
And this happy couple could celebrate their big day, despite Lyle giving them a scare.
I hear they got to talk to your dad today, too? They did.
For their life-saving actions, Kelly, Samantha, and Pastor Wayne were recognized Thursday night at a special ceremony in Plymouth.
I couldn't be more thankful for what was done for me.
As for Kelly and Dan, they're just glad Lyle can celebrate with them now.
We feel that God was looking out for us.
The fact that we had folks here who did use the gifts that God had given them to be able to save Lyle's life. In that way, I think God was active here.
For Channel 12, I'm Stacia Kalinowski in Plymouth.
Lyle did miss the wedding because he had to spend 7 days in intensive care. Amazingly, only a small percentage survived sudden cardiac arrest without complications, and Lyle is one of them. And now to a story celebrating longevity in the workplace.
Greg Cook has worked for the city of Plymouth longer than any other city worker. He's now retiring after 44 years with the city. Sonia Goins has more on his long career.
I used to climb water towers, but I try to shy away from that now.
Greg Cook was only 19 years old.
It's beautiful from up there.
When he started his job as a maintenance worker,
especially on a day like this,
in 1970.
I haven't been up on one of them for a while.
He eventually worked his way up.
So this is the water treatment plant, one of the facilities that treats, and all it is iron and manganese removal.
And is now a senior engineering tech for the utilities division.
This shows what the power levels are out in the system. We have 5 elevated tanks, and that just shows how much water we have.
Watching and managing the city's water system is a key part of his job.
This is the central water treatment plant tank room.
Over the years, the city has developed one of the larger water production systems in the metro.
On a good day in the summer, we'll put 12, 15 million gallons through these filters.
Greg was instrumental in making that happen.
But it's been fun, actually. I've really kind of enjoyed it.
During his long career, it did cross his mind to find another job.
I thought about that many times over the 44 years, and I'm not sure. I just couldn't find a place that I really wanted to be more.
Greg says he's going to miss his friends.
Oh, Jennifer.
But he's ready to retire and play golf and travel.
I'm a type of person, I don't need to be working all the time. I can relax really well.
In Plymouth, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
Hope you get some time to relax really well now. Greg says one of the biggest changes he's seen is growth of the city. He says when he first started, he knew everybody's name. Now it's hard to do that with so many people. Well, how strong a trivia player are you? Chances are you can't touch a team from Lionsgate Academy.
Their story is coming up next, and then later in sports, the small school girls basketball playoffs tip off.
But first, the warm-up continues over the weekend before we hit the 50s next week. A rookie Quiz Bowl team from Crystal is so new they don't even have a buzzer system for practice.
Not yet, but it really doesn't matter when it comes down to the match. In their first season, Lionsgate Academy has had more success than they imagined.
Twice a week at Lionsgate Academy in Crystal,
Articles of Confederation.
Students test their trivia knowledge.
Victor Hugo.
Hoping these questions might come up again in a Quiz Bowl match.
6 is correct.
It's the first year for a Quiz Bowl team at Lionsgate, a charter school which serves students with autism.
We actually got involved a little bit after the season had already started, so we didn't even get a full season.
But what the students don't have in experience, they make up for in confidence and humor.
I like to prove my intellectual superiority.
The teams actually scored so well in the matches they did play.
It's pretty fun for the most part. Stressful at times, but usually get through it, and we win.
That they earned a spot at the national tournament in April.
I was like, wait, what? Plot twist.
I was really surprised. I didn't think we would make it to nationals.
It's still pretty unbelievable for our inaugural season.
So while students sharpen their skills, the coaches are preparing students for the new experiences they will encounter.
So that our students might practice what it's like to go through the airport before we fly. We'll probably be talking about what it will be like to ride the light rail when we get to Atlanta. All those sorts of things we have to think about.
But students seem ready for the unexpected and confident they'll be first on the buzzer.
We're gonna do as best as we can.
Yo, we're going all the way. We're gonna ace the championships.
Very confident, I bet they will. The team is headed to Atlanta in April. They have to raise $8,000 for the trip, though, and so far they've only raised $3,000. If you'd like to help, you can donate to the Lionsgate Academy Foundation, and they have a link on their website. Go to it through ours, 12.tv. Mike's fun group to hang around with, for sure. You can tell, right? Still ahead, Footloose circa 19th century. We'll preview 12 dancing princesses coming up.
But first in sports, the Osseo and Wayzata girls basketball teams are set for a playoff rematch. John Jacobson has that and more when we come back.
A reminder that tonight is the night for the Section 5 4A Boys Basketball Championship game between Wayzata and Champlin Park. The winner goes to state. The game tips at 7 o'clock at Rogers High School. Watch it live here on Channel 12 or on the web at 12.tv. Also follow us on Twitter at 12 Sports for live game updates. You can also catch the game Saturday on Channel 12 at 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. The Osseo girls basketball team battled through injury and illness earlier this season and have closed strong. The Orioles have won 10 of their last 11 games heading into Saturday night's Section 5 4A semifinal matchup against Wayzata. That includes a tougher than expected 5-point win over Irondale in the section quarterfinals.
Yeah, Irondale's a good team, so they put up a good fight against us. We didn't play defense at all. We picked it up, though, at the end of the game to finish it out, so yeah.
They came out and they played really well. They shot the ball really well. I think we didn't do some things defensively that we would like to have done, and we talked about that after the game. But you know, the bottom line is you survive in advance, and we did that.
The second-seeded Orioles expected that they'd be meeting arch rival Maple Grove in the semis, but the Crimson lost to Wayzata. The Orioles did beat the Trojans during the season by 3 points.
Well, obviously they're a great team. They're aggressive. They crash the boards great. They shoot great. So we're just going to have to play good.
No, they shoot the ball well. They transition the ball well. So, you know, really we're going to watch some more film and we're going to look at some things. But, you know, bottom line for us right now, we're really talking about is what do we have to do? We need to play our game.
Wayzata is a young team that is also coming on strong. They are the number 6 seed for the Section 5 tournament, but they're still alive and preparing to face Osseo after a big win. Trojans knocked off number 3 seed Maple Grove Wednesday, a team they'd lost to by 26 points in the regular season.
It was so much fun. You know, we came out with energy and intensity, and we just got back from that last time we played Maple Grove.
We had good rhythm, we had good spacing, we scored pretty efficiently early. And defensively, we did just enough to disrupt their flow and disrupt their rhythm.
The Trojans fell behind Osseo by a big margin in their regular season meeting, but came back and made it a very good game, losing 70-67. Trojans know what to expect from Osseo.
They definitely are very quick, and they're definitely very physical. So we have to make sure that we are just as physical with them as they are with us, and we got to make sure we take care of the ball with them.
They start with Kiara Russell. She is absolutely dynamic and a premier player in the state. And, you know, the focus has to start there, but they've also got very good players around her. Their 2 posts are very talented and strong and physical and athletic.
The Osseo-Wayzata semifinal follows the Centennial Mounds View matchup at Anoka High School Saturday night. Tip-off is scheduled for 7:45. You can watch a replay of the game on Channel 12 Sunday at 10 a.m., also 1 p.m., 7 p.m., and 10 p.m. 3 local girls teams play in Section 5 AA. 2 of them met up in the opening round as Brooklyn Center visited Providence Academy Thursday night. Martina Contrary, it's a long 2-pointer for the Centaurs, giving them the first points of the game. Providence, though, then goes on a 16-0 run, which includes this jumper from Clara Counts, who leads the Lions with 12 points on the night. Providence moving the ball around the perimeter here, and they'll find the open shooter. Ashley Surveys burying a 3-pointer for the Lions. Later, it's Surveys finding another open spot for a triple as Providence Academy races out to a 39-6 lead at halftime. And the Lions just too much in this game. Pass goes into Mackenzie Murtha, who grabs the rebound off her own miss to score. Providence wins 55-8. The Lions play Minneapolis Henry on Saturday. In Section 4A, West Lutheran hosted Hope Academy. The Warriors getting a steal, and that ends in an easy 2 for Laura Stadansky, and they lead 16-5. On the break, Carrie Price to Haley Volbrecht to Lizzie Hoffer. 26-5 West Lutheran after this. A lot to get excited about. And they go on a 30-point run in the first half. Alyssa Wahlberg driving and gives to Stadansky for the layup. They're up big at halftime. Second half, Maria Tripp gets the steal for the Warriors, and she'll give it to Wahlberg for a layup. West Lutheran wins big 82-24. Maranatha and Heritage from this section also won Thursday night. And that's a look at sports for today.
Lots of exciting games, lots of exciting student sections this time of year for
right.
sure.
Fans are fired up.
Thanks, John. Still ahead, the case of those curiously worn dancing shoes.
We'll get to the bottom of it next in Weekend Showcase. Finally, what do you get when you combine a fairy tale involving dancing, singing, and a mystery?
Neil Persley gives us a clue in Weekend Showcase.
12 Dancing Princesses is an old Grimm's fairy tale dating back to 1812. The story centers around 12 beautiful princesses who sleep in one room in the castle. Every night, their doors securely locked. Yet every morning, their dancing shoes are found worn through. Perplexed at this and concerned for their safety, the king offers a rich reward to anyone who can solve the mystery. Maple Grove resident Zoe Tamarkin plays the eldest Princess Violetta.
It's kind of like a princess version of Footloose, where the king doesn't want us to dance because he lost his wife, and that was the only thing she really enjoyed doing.
Zoe has a strong 8-year background in ballet and is a student at Escalate Dance and Theater Studio in Maple Grove, which has collaborated with Stages for this production.
A lot of the girls have come from my studio, not all. We've had it open to the public, but a lot of the girls are from my studio, which has been really fun, so they get to apply what they've been learning in class.
This is the third collaboration between Stages and Escalate.
It's a really large cast, and it demanded some really high caliber, high quality actors, singers, dancers, and we really felt ready for it.
While the dance musicals Stages puts on feature very talented and technical dancing, the vocal elements have not been overlooked.
You need to sort of also backfill the voices. So in this particular show, you have the 12 dancing princesses, and then you have some amazing artists playing the handmaidens. And they are in many ways the voices of those princesses.
For Weekend Showcase, I'm Neil Persley.
12 Dancing Princesses runs now through March 22nd at Stages Theater in Hopkins, so go check it out. And now we have a little Flashback Friday for you. It was 25 years ago that Mr. John Jacobson here, he didn't know this was coming, he walked through the doors of Northwest Community Television and right into the sports department. John graduated from Robbinsdale High School, and he had a heart for covering sports in the Northwest Metro. Since that time, he's covered every sport our local high schools offer, from state tournament runs to those tough one-point losses. John has covered them all, and even done funny promos like this one. So we'd like to say congratulations on 25 years, and thank you for what you do, John.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's been a great ride, and I'm looking forward to basketball tonight. It's one of my favorite events, and I get to go to watch that Champlin Park Wayzata game. But
just to put you on the spot a minute, like any favorite games that you remember really quickly?
That's
big
real
games.
Tough. All the big games are fun. Yeah, hard to pick one out.
And we got one tonight.
Thanks,
John.
And congratulations, John.
Bye, everybody.